We're talking systems this week. Are you ready for it? It's going to be awesome. Here's the question for today. I'm about to hire my first secretary and first employee ever. Any suggestions or advice? In addition, I'm looking to make my practice more automated. Is there a practice management system you recommend? So thanks to Therapy Notes for sponsoring us. First, congratulations on the hire. Let's talk through your very many options. But first, I want you to get extremely clear on everything you want this person to do. And I would actually prefer that you get the practice management system first so you can see what can be automated and handled by the system rather than hiring someone to do that work only to realize that you need them way fewer hours than you promised. So for practice management systems, I highly recommend Therapy Notes. It does everything that a typical solo or group practice needs done. And their customer service, it surpasses all the other ones I know about. They're available by phone 7 days a week. That's really, really hard to find. And you can try that out for 2 months for free to see if it's a good fit for you if you use the code ABUNDANT at checkout. Their website's therapynotes.com. And I don't get paid per person that I refer there. It's not that kind of affiliate relationship, but they do sponsor me. So I have a good relationship with them, and I really like Therapy Notes. It offers everything you need. Anyway, after you get used to the system that you choose, I want you to make a list of tasks that need to be performed. And then you have the 3 primary options for getting those tasks done. First is an in-office secretary. And this is my least favorite option. You're going to be paying a lot of money for someone who's just sitting there for most of the hours that you have them in the office. They're probably going to be bored and unsatisfied, and you'll be out a lot of money. And an office assistant really, it makes the most sense for large group practices. A second option is a company that specializes in virtual assisting for therapists specifically. You're not going to have to train them as thoroughly because they already know the drill. They're familiar with most of the systems out there. And while you may give them your own scripts, they already know how to talk to clients on the phone. They may do billing for you if necessary. They typically have a minimum monthly fee that might not make sense if you're really early on in your practice, but might make a ton of sense if you already have the funds for that. The third option is that you can hire a virtual assistant and then train them yourself. And this has the benefit of getting your systems tight because we usually have to tighten them before we can explain them and train them. And if you aren't yet available to, or if you aren't yet able to afford the minimum fee for the VA companies, you may be paying less per hour and using fewer hours than what some of the VA companies might require. And you can do a search on your own, or you can use a service that will do the weeding out process for you. That's what I did when I hired my executive assistant for Abundance, who has been promoted and been promoted. She's amazing. And I used greatassistant.com for that. It costs a good bit of money, but they kind of put them through the paces and make sure there aren't typos in the things they're submitting and things like that before they even introduce you to them. Ultimately, the VA companies or your own hires are great options depending on where you are in your practice. Either way is great. So there's this maxim that makes me a little uncomfortable, but I have agreed with it over my experience as a boss, and that's hire slow and fire fast. As long as you have really clearly communicated your expectations and the deliverables for your employees. So if after attempts at remediation, they don't improve, then it's likely not a good fit. And that's been the hardest part of being a boss for me. So if you feel like you've made very clear explanations and expectations and they're not being met, definitely have a good conversation with the person, but it might be time to let them go if you're really trying to communicate and they're not picking up what you're putting down. There's some sort of issue going on either between the two of you or with them or with you. But once you have your solid team, which I'm really lucky and really proud to say I have at this point, your life and your business and the lives and well-beings of your employees are so improved. My very favorite management book is called The Problem Isn't Their Paycheck by Grant Botma. We'll put that in the notes. It is the only management book that I've ever read where I felt like the best interest of the employees, the owner, and the business are all considered. I really highly recommend it. A lot of the management books out there don't seem to like employees very much is what it feels like, and don't want to give them the respect and admiration that they deserve. And I feel like this book comes at being an employer from a really healthy, happy angle. So that's the problem isn't their paycheck. You can find it on Amazon. We also have a course in the Abundance Party all about hiring and onboarding assistants, and that's over at abundanceparty.com. And if you have questions, please shoot me an email over at ask@abundancepracticebuilding.com. I would love, love, love to answer them on here. All right, thanks so much.